Just my pride, you know he when the stars outside, bless me. Welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MB. This is your daily vibe, Pisces, for the collective Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising sign cross watchers. You are welcome wherever Pisces may fall in your chart. If it doesn't resonate with you, check other aspects of your chart. Check out some of my other videos. In the description box, you'll find my email address, contact information, as well as a link to the Etsy store and the new Patreon membership account. From here on YouTube, we have a few new tabs. Check out the merch under the merchandise tab that we have integrated with Teespring. There's also a membership section for those of you wanting access to the extended readings and a lot more. I like to start off with an icebreaker, and then we move into a Celtic cross-style reading. At the end of the reading, a treat to you is I'll answer a few questions, okay? So, you know I always laugh with it's like, oh, laugh at my pain, right? Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands, which talks about self-esteem. I'm going to pick those cards up. We have the Queen of Swords and the Four of Swords. So someone feels defeated. Someone's receiving their victory. Also talks about intelligence, meditation, trusting your intuition, are we? I see that some of us may be dealing with this Knight of Wands energy. With the Five of Wands and Seven of Swords, it's just like someone that is hard to trust. Maybe they are a bit sneaky. Got a few fans. If this is just your energy, Pisces, it just says that maybe Neptune is still retrograding, and some of the shadow aspects of yourself and battles within yourself, trying to understand yourself, and for some of you, maybe even hidden knowledge or just things that you weren't previously aware of. So just keep in mind that there may be things coming up within yourself, about your person, or just feelings of distrust, okay? I see some of us are being asked to be brave, especially those of you that may want this new beginning. Others of you that may be foolish, kind of reckless and rushing in to communicate, right? Knowing that it leads to argument. And it may be a bit repetitive with the Three of Wands, with this journey. The overall energy, though, that I got for your introduction, Pisces, today is the Six of Wands. And instead of reward, for me, this is more like recognition. The conflict here is conflict within itself because you guys got the Five of Swords, right? You can see that. So it's just like returning to this grave, right? Digging up old wounds. And then with the Three of Wands, like I said, the solution, right? This section is the solution or advice. And it's like look out into the future, moving forward with the Fool card. So it's like we want to go forward and not backward. And this Sun card talks about happiness for some of you, enlightenment for others of you. And then with the two sevens here, those of you that may have thought you were dealing with a soulmate or a twin flame situation, it could very well just be the Magician, okay? So which is a test within itself. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles, which does talk about working together. I just saw the Tower card, so maybe we'll talk about that, maybe not. And let's see, source, what you have for Pisces, all right, for their daily vibe. I see the shadow, I see the shadow again, the need to meditate, and then we're back with the Three of Pentacles. So there's the Magician. So here we have the Magician, which could be you, Pisces, or someone that you're dealing with. Keep in mind that the roles are interchangeable. With the Magician, if we were to ask what tool you're using to manifest, we have the Ace of Wands, which talks about creative energy. So my artist, anything that requires like your hands or some type of self-expression. Others of you, when I said there's this constant back and forward with a person or with people, I have the Magician and the Ace of Wands, which is like someone who could be stirring shit up. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And here's the King of Wands. Okay, this could be two individuals. If not, if I'm talking about the characteristics, the Magician is very assertive, This Ace of Wands for me is just like I call the magic stick. And then with the King of Wands, you are mastering yourself, the creative self. You're mastering getting through frustration, using those energies more creatively. Or like I said, for those of you dealing with a super Mac, whether it's a Mac Daddy or a Mac Mama, this is the advice that I was asked to give. And I saw, some of you with the Eight of Swords kind of being trapped in a situation. I feel that you may like this person more than they like you. You may give more energy to the situation than they give to you. Some of you guys, this King of Wands represents Leo. The Divine Wisdom card kind of puts me at the Stargate portal and the energy that came with that and from that with this Ace of Wands that I feel will allow some of you guys that embrace it through meditation and connecting to the divine to become the magician, okay? Now, crowning your thoughts, some of you guys are trying to figure out hidden knowledge, what your gifts are with this Two of Swords. You're trying to activate this communication with the universe, and we actually just talked about that yesterday. Others of you, it's just like you're at a cross for making a decision with this person, and it's like, honestly, with the Eight of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Three of Wands, there's no decision to make, because it's like, I don't feel like this person is in this situation with you. So it's kind of like, what are you making a decision about? So ask yourself, if you are dealing with a person that you are not in communication with, that doesn't show you much effort, that doesn't apologize, when things go south, or every time you deal with this person, things go south, what decision are you making? Okay. Moving forward, here's the Three of Cups where it talks about acceptance. So some of you, it's not even the fact that you really love this person or you really want the situation to work. It's just that your ego is damaged by, I don't want you, or I'm not going to answer your call, or I don't, like you like that. It's not that, oh, I love this person, this is my divine counterpart. It's just that this obsessive behavior of not letting go, right? Which an educated professional could cause psychosis, personality disorders, some type of mental instability. And because the Eight of Swords came out, don't want to trigger anybody, but definitely want you to be aware of that, okay? Because we talk about gifts, and we talk about the divine and spirit and these magical, mystical things that in life, if you take a practical approach to it, because I know Source is very practical. So it's kind of like what you see is what's going on. There's no hidden divine thing. It's what it is. So like I said, if you haven't created anything, if there is no, hocus pocus, Harry Potter magic behind your daily life, like you can touch a pot of coffee and it boils in your hand or some X-Men shit, pretty much want to look into balancing those chemicals out, and moving toward accepting that, hey, I could be stressed out, I could be traumatized, I could have incarnated with all kind of shit from my past life. Maybe, 10, 20 decades ago, you were a sorcerer, witch, or some shit, and you're still holding on to, being hung or burned on the cross, or whatever the vice is. But in this life, in this century, in this decade, at this moment, no mystical, magical witch, no hocus pocus, no divine bringing this person who clearly doesn't want to be in the situation with you together, right? I don't want to trigger anyone, but I want to unstick you from the Seven of Cups, and Source is giving this divine wisdom on what, and here's a flame too for me, this wand, this flame, and Leo. So it's kind of like your heart center, this activation, your divine partner could be Source. Right? But the divine wisdom is coming across this Three of Cups. And here is the Eight of Pentacles, which talks about self-mastery, The King of Wands is asking you to persevere. So let's say you do have spiritual gifts and you are being tested in the most uncomfortable ways. There is still a need to persevere through it, to not fold or buckle down in it, and there's still this practicality of life, okay? For those of you that are highly spiritual and we're here on earth, there's a need to be grounded and centered in the practical every day when you get up, what you have to do, paying your bills, whatever associations, friendships, or relationships you have. We have to keep a sound mind, like a practical mind, like to be engaged fully in the moment, not what could be, what should be, what's going on right now, right? How they see you, look at that, a mess, okay? The Tower with the King of Wands is explosive. So either this is you, and you know if this is you or not. So either this is you with this explosion of creative energy, and like I said, a tattoo artist, a musician, a singer, you making songs, poetry, candles, out of fucking quilts, face mask, beauticians, cosmetologists, whatever, okay? Cosmetic surgeon, hell, I don't know, everybody watch YouTube. But it just says that this explosion, and also the divine, for some of you, separating from what could have been, what some people call the underworld, and generational curses and spells and the hoodoo, voodoo that I'm talking about. It's kind of like, I'm trying to help you understand what came first, like the chicken or the egg. If our ancestors, your ancestors, were into different things, and let's just say there were contracts and hocus pocus and voodoo and whatnot, and some people say that sometimes it does affect a certain number of the generation to come. Now, scientists also say that the grandmother or great-grandmother holds the eggs of like all the children that's going to be born, and has your parent, and then your parent has you, and then you have children. So there's also a non-hocus pocus way to look at it. But either way, it just talks about those of you that claim to be breaking generational curses and have these spiritual gifts, or all of that. Is kind of like, be mindful that along with these spiritual gifts that allegedly are being passed down, so are mental illnesses, and so are traumatic, post-traumatic disorder, was that PTSD. So from slavery, from abuse, from neglect, fear, and all of the chemistry involved in that is passed down genetically. So while some of you may not go to the doctor, may not have a therapist, may not have friends that are honest with you, just keep in mind that everything ain't hocus pocus. And if you need help in that way, meditation brings you close to the source, or there are professionals that are there to help you. So from what I see, the Spirit is really focused on a lot of you getting out of psychosis. And if not psychosis, getting this non-practical way of life that overrides the practical life. I just want to make sure I'm, painting this picture, there's a need to persevere in this life without being, I'm different, I'm an outcast, I'm an introvert. Actually, at times, there are other things that this is called, like socially awkward, where you just feel uncomfortable around large groups of people or in unknown places. That isn't the black sheep or the eyeball or the divine one. You have a nervous condition, stuff like that. So be practical. And it also talks about separating from the shadow side, and separating you from that tension. The divine can protect you from these outbursts through, like I said, meditation, and through a mastery of self to understand self. And then even on this divine wisdom card, you can see the health symbol above it, okay? So, and above is, you know, probably the crown chakra, because this could have been anywhere on the deck. You know, so boom, 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 boom. Now, under the Ace of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, just imagine the Queen of Cups and her sweet little, I'm an empath, I can't stop crying. I'm going to love them anyway, even if they don't love me back, because I'm just in love with love. With this Ace of Wands, it's just triggered. It also has chemistry here. The King of Wands is said to be the father. The Queen of Cups is very much pure feminine energy. So here we have pure masculine energy, right, is what this card is known for. Pure feminine energy is what this card is known for. And then we have the Tower and the Ace of Wands crossing each other. So if that isn't an outburst or, you know, some type of tension and friction, it also could even talk about like sexuality and testosterone and just things being kind of off, right? In a sense. Eight of Pentacles, Two of Swords. It's just like, bring it to me, right? So it's just saying, bring it to me. And I can help you make decisions. So if you have a question and you meditate, or if you have concerns and you meditate, or, you know, meditation is now being implemented even in fucking preschools. Instead of disciplining the children, well, this is quarantine right now, but before that, but instead of going to detention and stuff like that, they would have the kids meditate. And they talked about how helpful that was, okay? Now the outcome, like I said, to stay busy. Stay busy creating things, all right? You may have a high capacity to absorb energy. We get that. But as you absorb energy, there needs to be this release of that energy. So a lot of people do that through creative activity, working out, and things of that nature. All right. Now, if you are interested in continuing this conversation to see how you can help yourself be more creative, less frustrated, get closer to source, there will be an extended version to this video in our Patreon membership section. Okay, and that link to Patreon is in the description box. And as promised, I'm gonna pull a card for those of you wanting to ask a question. Okay, one answer, one of the angel answer cards, one tarot card, and pick a number 1, 2, or 3. Okay, good stuff though. I thought it was, you know, I would have rather talked about something more fun. That's just me. But this is what we have. This is very important because it's coming up more and more often now. Like, okay, we go through this phase, we go through this phase, we go through this phase, and it's like spirit not wanting to startle you or overwhelm you. So we're taking baby steps, and it seems like now we're getting into reality, you know, and asking everyone to be, you know, grounded. So anyway, for the collective, we have Don't Stop, right? That's kind of cute. And we have the Seven of Cups, which is associated with this Magician. Confusion, fears, addictions, all kind of stuff. Nasty little stuff, okay? Oh, look at that. Nasty little stuff. All right? If you chose group 1, you have asked for help from others, and you have the Moon. So the Moon is either that feminine energy, or it also talks about deception, shadiness, or the shadow side, okay? Yeah. If you chose group 2, you have yes, and you have the 10 of Pentacles. It's kind of like that inheritance, that genetic inheritance, or even gifts, right? So I don't know what you ask, Pisces, but there you have it. And if you chose group 3, you have opportunity and temperance, okay? So whatever you ask for or about, you have opportunity. And I love temperance because it talks about the alchemist, and it talks about alchemy, and the whole conversation we've been having with this feminine, masculine energy and the divine trying to help, okay? So see you on the other side. Namaste.